Very happy morning, happy Sunday. Free online IAS classes, I welcome you all for this lively and very informative session on science and technology. This PPT is going to be a very useful PPT for you who are all going to write the preliminary examination in 2021. Because in this PPT, we are going to cover full science and technology from 2020 to 2021 June. So it will be in total 10 parts, and today we are going to start the first part. And let me introduce myself. You all aware about arivoli.in YouTube channel, in which we are posting a lot of free online IAS materials and teaching videos, which will make you to learn and strategize yourself to prepare for the preliminary as well as mains IAS exam at your doorstep. There are many people who don't have mentors or guidance, those who are working, those who are housewives, don't find convenient time to attend the classes during morning. So this kind of videos and lessons will make you your preparation very easy. You can learn at your own pace, as well as you can comment to me to clarify your doubts, and I'll post you more videos for a particular topic if you feel very difficult with the topic. So now we are going to start Science and Technology Part 1, important topics. I have a plan to discuss around 100 topics which are going to be very relevant and useful, particularly for the preliminary examination, and to some extent it will help you in your 2021 mains examination as well. This is a compendium which I'm going to consolidate the materials from Press Information Bureau, Ministry of Science and Technology and Earth Sciences website, NASA, then ISRO website, and some of the important, very authentic websites which has a lot of latest informations which can be very relevant for the preliminary. By seeing these videos, your time and energy will be saved, and you are very much near to the goal of clearing the IAS preliminary examination. Now, going to the PPT, we are going to discuss the current topics, number 1. Number 2, it will make you understand the news and the related latest facts. And apart from that, we are going to cover the basics, which we called as a traditional area, the basic concepts. Then second is, we are going to have a reference study. We call it as an encroachment study, because our core area, the main area, is your current news. And with that news, we are going to just peripherally encroach the relevant items, which can be a value addition for your preliminary examination. And we are going to have a topic-wise analysis of important topics in this video. So let me start with the first thing. And what are all the areas that we are going to cover in science and technology? Number 1, we will be covering the topics which are related to astronomy, space exploration, some indigenous technology which has been, in news, the latest inventions, the important news in the earth sciences, awards and honors associated with science and technology, inventions, creations, recognitions, nationally as well as internationally. And we are going to study some of the personalities who are in news It may be either due to honor or award, or maybe obituary, or maybe 100th-year celebration, or a landmark, issue, or whatever it may be. We are going to discuss the personalities and their background, and we are going to discuss some of the issues which are appearing in news with respect to the biosciences. So these are all the areas we will be covering for 100 important topics, and we are combining these topics into one topic called Science and Technology Part 1. So today we are going to discuss around 10 topics, 10 important topics. And as I have told you, understanding the topic, collecting the facts, going to the basics, doing a reference study, as well as the Science and Technology videos will be a value addition for your preparation. And we will be continuing with part 2, part 3, part 4, etc. So till we complete the 100 topics. Today we are going to have first topic, Mars opposition. It was in news on 13th October 2020. Sun, Earth, Mars, all three were lined up. They were in a similar line, same line. So this was news. This was in news. Now, in this, how we are going to study for the preliminary examination? What are all the things that we have to collect? As I told you, facts, reference, basic science, and everything. The first is Sun and the planet are at 180 degrees because they are in the straight line. Opposition means what? Opposition happens for how many planets? There are 8 planets, and this opposition phenomena, when Sun, Earth, and the particular planet in which the opposition happens are in one same line, happen only for Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune, not for. And this kind of phenomena occurs in 15 to 17 years. So this is the factual information which has been given for the news. Now coming to the reference study. We have studied about Mars opposition, so we should know the facts about Mars. So instead of going and collecting from various sources, which will waste your time, now I'm going to give you the entire thing in one capsule, which is our video. So by seeing this video, the 100 topics, you need not worry of referring any further about this topic. You can be 100% confident to attend the science and technology questions, which will be asked in your preliminary. Now coming to the Mars. Mars, you all know it's a red planet. It's regolith. Its upper layer or surface material contains lots of iron oxide. Because of the iron oxide, it appears to be red. And its apparent brightness increases as it goes closer to the Earth. Whenever it comes near to the Earth, it gets brighter. But you remember the brightest planet is not red planet. The color is red because of the iron oxide, but the brightest may be some other planet, not Mars. Mars has largest dust storm and mountain. Olympus Mons is the highest mountain in the solar system. In India, Everest is the highest one. In world also, it is the highest one. When you take the entire solar system, Mount Olympus Mons, it is the highest mountain which is there in the Mars planet. Mars planet was named after Roman god of war. It is the second smallest planet in the solar system after Mercury. Now, apart from this, the extra reference study that you are going to do is about the basics of geography or astronomy. We call it as the positions of the planets with relevant to Earth or Moon or Sun. We call it as aphelion, perihelion, the shortest distance and the longest distance. If it is a moon, it is called, lunar. with respect to that. If it is with respect to Earth, we call it as perigee, apogee. So you should know the basic points. What is mean by aphelion, which I have given, is the point of Earth's orbit that is farthest away from the sun. Perihelion is the point of the Earth's orbit that is nearest to the sun. The same way, perigee is the point of the orbit closest to the Earth, while the point farthest from the Earth is known as the apogee. Now, Mars has two satellites, Phobos and Deimos. SpaceX Corporation, the CEO of the SpaceX is Elon Musk. You may be aware that it's a private company. And they have an aspirational goal to land the first human on Mars by 2024. He himself calls that he is going to colonize the Mars planet. He's going to have a habitation there for humans by 2024. NASA has sent 4 robotic vehicles. The names I have given: Rovers, Sojourner, Spirit, Opportunity, and Curiosity. These are the 4 sent by NASA. The 5th one they are planning is the Perseverance. India's Mars mission is named as Mangalyaan. It was thought in 2014. Then China, whether China had sent a Mars mission? Yes. It has sent a probe called Tianwen-1. It is also known as Quest for Heavenly Truth through the Long March 5 rocket. So these are all the informations when you study the concept called Mars opposition, which comes to your mind about Mars. Apart from that, when they are talking about alignment of planets in such a line, there is one more alignment which we are very aware about, the solar eclipse and lunar eclipse, which I have given the diagram also. What do you mean by solar eclipse and what is lunar eclipse? Lunar eclipse is nothing but Earth is in between the sun and the moon. And solar eclipse is moon is in between the Earth and the sun. And how the shadow reflects and what are all the effects, all you were very much aware. If you have any doubts in these concepts, you can very well refer to your school books. So this should be your strategy of studying the science and technology when you read a current topic. So like this, we will be covering almost 100 topics. Now the first presentation, I'll go a bit slow so that you will have an idea how to prepare for the preliminary examination. While we do at least 25 to 30 topics, I think we can go fast because you have a orientation and you got adopted into the pattern of preparing for the preliminary examination. Now moving on to the second topic, tubarial glands. The news was there because some scientists have discovered a new organ in our tongue, a new organ being discovered in our salivary glands, because already known salivary glands you all aware. Now there was a new salivary gland which they have found, which is called tubarial glands. It is the 4th pair of salivary glands. The Dutch scientists have discovered it. The existing glands, you should know, I have given the diagram also for that. 3 glands. One is the parotid, which is the largest. The second is submandibular, and third is the sublingual glands, which you can see in the diagram. This discovery of this tubarial glands explain the mouth dryness after radiotherapy, positron emission, tomography, and computed tomography among the cancer patients. So this is a new discovery. The human salivary gland system can be divided into 2 separate groups, major and minor glands. The major glands are these glands 3 plus 1. And there are about, thousands of minor glands. The major salivary glands are parotid, submandibular and sublingual. The minor glands are distributed in group of hundreds in the upper aerodigestive tract mucosa. After reading this news, you should be aware about the concept, basic concept called what do you mean by glands. So glands are important organs located throughout the body. They produce and release some substances that perform certain functions. There are two types of glands. One is endocrine and exocrine. Endocrine is your part of your system which makes hormones and release the hormones into the bloodstream. Example, you can see adrenal, pituitary, hypothalamus, thyroid, pineal glands, etc. The organs that contain endocrine tissue and act as glands are pancreas, kidneys, ovaries, and testes. Exocrine glands produce other substances. They don't produce any hormones. And they are released through ducts to the exterior of your body, such as sweat, saliva, tears, or some oil secretions. Salivary, sweat glands, mammary glands, which produces milk, and sebaceous gland, which I have told you, which will be in your, hair or skin, which produces a kind of a oil. Lacrimal is nothing but your tear glands. Lymph nodes are often referred to as glands, but they are not true glands. They are part of your immune system and help the body to fight the infection. Now, to add on to your clarity and conviction, let me tell you how the questions will be asked, if at all the preliminary questions are asked from these two topics. For example, there will be type of questions, which among the following statements are correct? You are very aware. So first they will ask you, there are 3 set of salivary glands. The statement itself is wrong because we have found out recently the another set of salivary glands, which is tubarial glands, number 1. The second statement, they'll give you salivary glands are part of the endocrine glands. No, they are not endocrine glands, they are exocrine glands. The second statement is also wrong. The third statement, they may give you lymph nodes are true glands. No, they are also wrong because they are not true glands. So these 3 statements, if they give, then these 3 are wrong because you are very much clear about the concepts when you are making a reference study or encroachment study about a particular current topic. Now they'll ask you the 4th statement, that the discovery of tubarial glands explains the mouth dryness after tomography. Yes, the last statement is correct. So I have told you 4 statements. They'll ask you which among the following statement is correct. 1, 2, 3 only, 1, 2 only, 4 only. All are correct. So for this, the answer will be 4 only. So for a particular topic which is appearing in the news, this should be your way of preparing the particular topic. You should focus on the reference study, understand the factual thing, try to understand the background concept to it, and make a encroachment or value addition material which will be relevant to the current news. So like that, now we have seen 2 topics. Let me go to the 3rd topic. RUDRAM. RUDRAM was in news because DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization, has developed it. It is an anti-radiation missile. What is the meaning of the word Rudram? It is meaning is remover of sorrows. It was been test fired in ITR integrated test range in Wheeler Island off the coast of Odisha. And Sukhoi 30 MKI fighter aircraft was used as a launch platform. And this missile can take out designated targets that emit radio frequency, including radars, jammers, etc. And it is a NGARM. It is called New Generation Anti-Radiation Missile. It can perform SEED. It can perform suppression of enemy air defenses. And this missile is an indigenously developed missile. It's an air-to-surface which has a range of 100 to 250 kilometers at a speed of Mach 2. So these are all the facts which are related to the current news of Rudram. Apart from that, the extra thing that you have to study about the India's missile program, which I'll be sharing in the part 2, Integrated Guided Missile Program of India, where you should read about the missiles, the types, the launch pads, the technology, the fuels, etc. Like it may have, surface to surface, surface to air, air to air, like Agni, Prithvi, Dhanush, so many things are there. So you should know some of the ranges also, Agni 1, Agni 2, Agni 3, Prithvi 1, 2. What are all the equivalent of these missiles with respect to Pakistan, Shaheen or whatever it is. So these are all the background study for this particular topic, which I will be covering in the part 2, because in part 2 there were lot of current affairs news with respect to the missiles, anti-tank missile and other things. So I'll be covering in that. Now, whether any other country is having this kind of anti-radiation missile, yes, the MAR-1 is under development by Brazil. There are so many things. One example I have given, because you cannot remember or memorize lot of facts also. So you have to restrict yourself how depth you are going. That is very, very important. If you go very depth, then coming out is also difficult. So your depth and wide both should be covered. You have to go a slight deep, then you should be able to come out immediately, then wide, spread yourself, then again go deep and again spread yourself. So your method of preparation should be like going deep, literally, and then coming to the peripheries, again going deep and coming. So this should be your area of encroachment. You should not go beyond this. So both the dimensions to be taken care of, depth and extensive study. So apart from this, you should read about the radiation, which again I have given in the part 2, the radiation topic also. So we will cover like this. Now coming to the next topic, water in moon. NASA's SOFIA Observatory. SOFIA means Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy. They have discovered water-like molecules in the sunlit surface of the moon. The place is called Clavius Crater, which is in southern hemisphere. And the water concentrations levels are 100 to 412 parts per million trapped in 1 cubic meter soil. We have already sent a lot of missions to moon. M3 was a moon mineralogy and moon mineralogy mapper, which was a part of a Chandrayaan-1. And NASA also had sent Cassini and Deep Impact Comet missions to collect or to study about the presence of water in moon. Now, this is the news. So what should be your data that can be asked in the preliminary examination? Number one, you should know everything about moon. What do you mean? Every word you try to explain or understand yourself that what is sunlit surface, what are all the composition of the moon, whether moon has atmosphere, whether any other country has so far collected samples from moon, how many missions, the name of the missions or the country which they have sent spacecraft or missions to moon. All this you have to collect and study. So these videos will make you understand all these materials and it will save a lot of your time. The lunar surface can be divided into two main regions, the highlands and the Maria. The highlands make up roughly 83% of the moon surface, whereas the Maria make up 17% of its surface. Both these regions have a characteristic density of craters from meteor impacts. Now, if you want to know what is meant by meteor, you can just refer and study. But in our part of the science and technology slides, I have explained the meteor also. A Raleigh is a long and narrow valley on the moon. Whether volcanoes are there in the moon, yes, some type of shield volcanoes are known from a few areas on the moon. They are called lunar domes. When the sunlight hits the moon surface, the temperature can reach 260 degrees Fahrenheit. I have given it in Celsius also, 127 degrees Celsius. Where the sun goes down, the temperature can dip to minus 280 Fahrenheit, that is minus 173 Celsius. Apart from that, you should know what is meant by lunar distance. Lunar distance is the distance between Earth and Moon, which is equivalent to 0.002569 astronomical unit. And in the entire solar system, Moon is the 5th largest natural satellite. The moon, you can see only one side of the moon assertion. Why? The reason is the moon revolves around the earth in 27 days, 7 hours and 43 minutes and 11.47 seconds and rotates on its own axis exactly the same time. That is the reason we are not able to see the other side of the moon. So we are able to see only one side. The rotation and the revolving, both are in the same speed. That's why we could see only the one face of the moon. And studying about the moon is known as the selenology. And the gravitational pull is 1/6 of the earth. That means you can weigh less in moon. If somebody is a 60 kg in earth, if the same person goes to moon, hypothetically imagine, then he will be only 10 kgs. Then NASA's Artemis program, that was also in news. Just I have given a reference. In our next slides, we'll be giving more details about it. NASA's Artemis program is a program to send first women to moon by 2024. Luna 2 by USSR, Soviet Union, was the first spacecraft in 1959. Then Apollo 11 of USA, where we all know Neil Armstrong was the first one to land on the moon, sent in 1969, 10 years after USSR. Then Changi 4, which includes a lander rover, was launched in 2018 and landed on 2019. It landed in the place called South Pole Aitken Basin. It is on the far side of the moon. That is a dark side. Far side means dark side, which cannot be sunlit. Chandrayaan 1, which orbited the moon in 2008. Lunar Atmosphere and Dust Environment Explorer, LADEE mission, began on 2013 and ended in 2014. European Space Agency drove by the moon in 2003 with the satellite small missions for Advanced Research in Technology 1, and which is known as SMART. Hiten and Selene were the names of the lunar probes sent by Japan. And you should know another important point that so far all the moon landings have happened within 30 to 40 degrees north or south of the lunar equator. So our country is planning to land a probe beyond this point, maybe around 90 degree of the moon, which will happen, which we are planning in Chandrayaan-2 mission. Lunar rocks are in large part made up of same common rock forming minerals as found on Earth, such as asolivine, pyroxene, and plagioclase feldspar. This is mostly found in the lunar crust, whereas the pyroxene and olivine are typically seen in the lunar mantle. Like Earth, regolith, we call it as, crust, upper crust, mantle, and then, core. Like that, lunar surface is also being divided into many parts. If you want to still refer further, but I don't think so that you need to refer further, because this much is enough when you read a news about water in moon. So we have covered water in moon, the facts related to water in moon. Apart from that, we have covered the facts of moon, moon probes, and other items. So this is more than enough to study for your 2021 preliminary. So you should know the other satellites, whether moon is the 4th largest or the 5th largest, whether this water part appears in the Maria region or highland region, and what can be the probe sent by US or China or Japan to the moon. So these kind of statement based questions or match based question or simple factual based questions can be asked in your preliminary examination. So for this water in moon, we have covered like this. Now coming to the next topic, which was in news, Asteroid Bennu, which came very near to Earth recently. So now we are going to see what is meant by asteroid, why it was in news, and what is the difference between asteroid and a meteorite, and what is the largest asteroid, where this asteroid belt appears, all these stuffs. And what are the missions sent by NASA and other space agencies to collect samples of asteroid. If asteroid hits the Earth surface, what will happen, why we are worried about it. So this kind of near Earth objects, why the study of near Earth objects are important, all these we are going to cover when we read this current news called Asteroid Bennu. OSIRIS-REx, that is Origin Spectral Interpretation, Resource Identification, Security and Regolith Explorer. That is a short form, OSIRIS. NASA's OSIRIS, sent to collect is samples. Samples means dust particles or whatever it is. And the mission was to collect it, which was launched in 2016, and it has to collect the samples and come back to Earth by 2023. It will use a mechanism to collect the samples from these objects known as TAGSAM technique, touch and go sample acquisition mechanism. It's a NASA's asteroid study sample return mission. The primary goal is to obtain a sample of at least, the weight is important, 60 gram from 101955 Bennu, a carbonaceous near Earth asteroid. Okay, I thought some disturbances, network disturbances. Okay, we can resume. It's a carbonaceous near-Earth asteroid. What is meant by asteroids? Asteroids are known as planetoids also, or they can be called as minor planets also. Whether asteroids do have moons? Yes, asteroids can have moons. They are rich in precious metals and other metals, as well as they can have water also. Yes. Asteroid belt is nothing but the belt between the Mars and Jupiter, where you can see thousands of asteroids. The first asteroid was discovered by Giuseppe Piazzi, and so far it is the largest known asteroid. It is called Ceres. Order wise, I have given the 4 largest asteroids: Ceres, Vista, Pallas, and Hygiea, which you can remember. See, like asteroid belts, there is also called Kuiper belt, which exists beyond, I think, Neptune. So that you can add on. When an asteroid is hitting the Earth, dust and smoke rising in the atmosphere will prevent the sunlight from reaching our world, and it can cause the total temperature to drop. So we will become a cold planet. And without sunlight, you all know that nobody can survive, including plants, animals, and etc. So why it is important that we should destroy the near Earth objects when it comes near? Because when it hits our Earth surface, it can form a smoky cloud. The dusty cloud can prevent the entire sunlight. All geological features on Bennu are named after various species of birds and bird-like figures in mythology. Bennu is a bird. So far, I think 4 sample collections have happened, and in that 4 sample collection, they have named it as kingfisher, osprey, sandpiper, etc. So what are all that thing that I have given you? And this is the 4th one, which is called Bennu. And Bennu is, they have categorized this kind of asteroid as a B-type asteroid. So you should know what is a B-type asteroid. There is a asteroid classification done by Thomson and others, which I have given you. There are C-type, S-types, and M-type asteroids based on their brightness, albedo value, or emission spectrum, or sometimes the color. They can be categorized as A or B. So this Bennu asteroid is coming under the category of B asteroid. Now, another point you should know whether asteroid and Trojan are same, because Trojan is a term which is associated with the 2 items. One is the computer technology and the other one is in astronomy or space exploration. So Trojan is a small celestial body that shares the orbit of a large one, remaining in a stable orbit approximately 60 degrees ahead or behind the main body near one of its Lagrangian points. These Lagrangian points, if you want to further study, you can refer, but it is not required. Trojans can share the orbits of planets or of large moons. Trojans are one type of co-orbital objects. So when you read the news Asteroid Bennu, these are all the important points which you have to collect and refer for yourself. So by seeing this video, you can save your time. Again, I am telling you, you can have all the materials which are relevant to the current news. Now coming to the EOS-1 by ISRO, it is an Earth observation satellite which was in news, which was launched through the Sriharikota in November 2020 through PSLV vehicle. And it carried not only India's satellite, but also 9 satellites from various countries, Lithuania, Luxembourg, and USA. It was launched through a commercial agreement with New Space India Limited. Now you should know what is PSLV and GSLV, the basics. If you have doubt, you can go to the NASA website or ISRO website where you can find adequate material to refer, or images also, which I'm going to give you in the next slide, will be available in these websites. So Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle and Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle, that is GSLV, with indigenous cryogenic upper stage, has enabled the launching up to 2 tons class of communication satellites. The load is heavy. The next variant of GSLV is GSLV Mk3 with indigenous high thrust cryogenic engine and stage, having the capability of launching 4-ton class of communication satellites. So geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle was developed to launch the heavier INSAT class of geosynchronous satellites into orbits. In its third and final stage, GSLV uses the indigenously developed cryogenic upper stage. In contrast to that, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle was developed to launch low Earth orbit satellite into polar and sun synchronous orbits. It has since proved its versatility by launching geosynchronous lunar and interplanetary spacecrafts successfully. ISRO launches small rockets from Rohini series on suborbital and atmospheric flights for aeronomy and meteorological studies. ATV is ISRO's heaviest sounding rocket, can be used for microgravity experiments and for precursor experiments to characterize new technologies. So far, India had sent so many Earth observation satellites. So you can just remember that these Earth observation satellites uses and the names like ResourceSat, OceanSat 1 and 2, then RISAT, then Saral, SCATSat, Megatrophics. So all these were in news one or other time long back, because these are all related with the Earth observation satellites. Reusable launch vehicle, that will be our next generation technology to be used by ISRO. The technology demonstrated, that is called RLVTD, Reusable Launch Vehicle Technology demonstrated. Hypersonic thermodynamic characterization of wing body, evaluation of autonomous navigation, guidance and control schemes, integrated flight management, thermal protection system evaluation. So these are all the objectives of this RLVTD technology. Now, if you want to know more about the basic, you should know what is meant by supersonic, subsonic. Supersonic speed is the speed of an object that exceeds the speed of a sound. Sound's speed is 343.2 meter per second. This is the speed of the sound. The sound can travel 343.2 meters in 1 second. So if the supersonic speed means if it is more than the sound of this, more than the speed of the sound, it is called supersonic. If it is less than that, it is called subsonic. And hypersonic is generally like 5 times of the supersonic speed. So these are all the basic things that you should know. I have given 2 images, the GSLV, PSLV, ASLV and SLV, you can see. So the SLV, the payload, the lift-off weight, all this we have given. Then next is ASLV, the height, propulsion, because the propulsion also liquid and solid, both they are using. Now the GSLV Mach 3 uses solid, liquid as well as cryogenic, and the payload is, we have reached around 4,000 kg. So this is the evolution of the satellite launch vehicles from SLV, ASLV, PSLV, GSLV Mach 2 to now GSLV Mach 3. And the next will be RLVTD, which I have discussed in the previous slide. Yes. Reusable launch vehicle technology demonstrated. I have given you. There is a place called Sagar Manjusha. There is a ship. You can see where it is placed. National Institute of Ocean Technology and ISTRAC. Both are monitoring this. Manjusha, and this has been connected with the RLV TD satellite launch vehicle. So these are all the important points when you read EOS 1 by ISRO in news. Now coming to the next topic, smart test by DRDO. Of the smart comprises a mechanism by which the torpedo is launched from a supersonic missile system with modifications that would take the torpedo to a far longer range than its own. It was done, the experiment was done in Wheeler Island off the coast of Odisha through the release of torpedo and deployment of velocity reduction mechanism. And when we talk about DRDO, many times you should be aware that what is the DRDO, the formation year of DRDO, or the current CEO of DRDO. I have given you the current chairman of DRDO, Dr. G. Satish Reddy. The DRDO Smart Anti-Airfield Weapon, we call SAW, is a long-range precision-guided anti-airfield weapon by DRDO capable of engaging ground targets with high precision. It can hit it accurately up to a range of 100 kilometers. When we read about this news, we should be able to know that what is meant by Shaurya. Shaurya is a land-based parallel to the submarine-launched K-15 missile capable of launching nuclear weapons from the submarine. Advanced torpedo systems, torpedo decoy systems, which is known as Marich, capable of being yeah, I think here the network issue was there. That's why it got disconnected. Again, coming to the topic which we were discussing, that smart test DRDO. Shaurya is a land-based parallel to the submarine-launched K-15 missile, capability of launching nuclear weapons from submarine platforms. Torpedo, you should know the basic. What is a torpedo is? It's a cigar-shaped self-propelled underwater missile launched from a submarine, surface, vessel, airplane, and designed for exploding upon contact with the hulls or surface vessels and submarines. Whether other countries have this kind of torpedo, if you want to know the names, I have given some 2-3 names of it. The Black Shark is the torpedo developed by Italy. F-21 is a torpedo developed by France. And Spearfish is a torpedo developed by UK. So, we have covered almost 10 topics. And when we study the Mach number, I should know the ratio is derived from the object speed divided by the speed of the sound. So that will give you the Mach number. Subsonic is Mach number less than 1. Transonic is Mach number exactly equal to 1. Supersonic is Mach number greater than 1. Hypersonic is Mach number greater than 5. So this you should know. In our next part of science and technology video, we will be covering some of the important topics like how holograms, 3D holograms will help in discovering the viruses and bacteria in our body. We will talk about Nobel Prizes, we will talk about encryptions, we will talk about India's missile program in detail. Now, coming to the next topic, smart fence. Smart fence at line of control. Can you just zoom the slide? Now, let us have a feedback for 2-3 minutes and we can go ahead. Any questions? So I think we have covered almost 8 topics now. So smart fence at LOC, bio-fortification, bio-decomposers, all this topic I will cover in the science and technology part 2, part 3, part 4 and all. So somebody is asking about Tamil optional. Okay. So when we take Tamil optional class, you can just ask this type of whether you have any doubt with respect to science and technology, you can ask me. With respect to Tamil optional paper and what are all the books to be studied, I have already given the YouTube video where I have shared all the books to be studied, the reference books, where you can get the PDF formats, everything in my video. You can just see the civil services playlist in arivoli.in, where you can see Tamil Ilakkiyam Paadathittam Matrum Anugumurai. In that topic, you can see all the answers for your questions. I think we have come to the end of the show. So in this video, I have discussed only 8 topics with a very slow-paced manner because I want you to learn how to prepare for the science and technology related current affairs news with respect to this understanding of the facts, going to the basics and collecting some basic items, then how to do an encroachment study and how to do a topic wise analysis. So in this way, in our channel arivoli.in, we are going to present you 100 important topics in science and technology, which will cover the science and technology happenings from June 2020 to June 2021. So I hope this will benefit you all. Subscribe and share all these videos, which will be useful for the civil services aspirants. All the best and thank you.